It's the NFL on EA Sports, and tonight's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Texans and the Niners, and it comes your way next on Madden NFL 22.
Our NFL friends up north are busting out the sweatshirts and blankets, but not us. TIAA Bakefield is pretty idyllic tonight, almost perfect, as we say hello from Jacksonville. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Houston Texans and the San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Gaudin alongside the one and only Charles Davis. And CD, lots of compelling storylines in a game like this. Let's take a look at some of the numbers for these two offenses.
And I'm glad you brought up the numbers, because sometimes it's hard to quantify a team's performance solely by judging the numbers. But I think with these two teams, what you see is a pretty accurate representation of who they are.
To do the honors. And off we go from Jacksonville. Here's Richie James on the return. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The 49er offense about to go to work, and it's Jimmy Garoppolo, Charles, at quarterback.
And Jimmy Garoppolo has shown that he can be a Super Bowl quarterback, but his biggest problem, his ability to stay healthy and remain on the field. When able, he's a capable quarterback prone to winning games both in the regular and postseason.
They'll run for the first time with Raheem Mostert. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Garoppolo going to give to Mostert. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Shaq Lawson's one of those guys that after a while you quit just trying to define him by a position. Defensive end, outside linebacker, doesn't matter. He knows how to get upfield and spill some plays.
So disruptive. What makes him so disruptive?
I think it's strength. If you see his upper body, I mean, he's got some strength up there and some really good hands, but he's got some surprising quickness as well to get him upfield.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 4, not enough. And it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down. Here's Mitch Wishnowsky now on to punt. Back deep here, Andre Roberts. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. The Texans offense going to go to work, and it is Deshaun Watson at quarterback.
And he's exactly the man you want in control of your offense. Excellent arm, good zip on the ball, not afraid to use his legs when he needs to. And when he's excelled at doing is making plays when the first read isn't available or when the pressure's about to get to him.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Throwing to start the drive. Watson. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty is going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
Johnson with a burst, a first down or more. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
On first down, Watson. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Pass rusher extraordinaire, D. Ford that time getting the sack. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Watson. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Quad Williams. And the Niners are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. Well, his arm strength, never an issue, but this one winds up in the wrong hands.
Oh, the coverage here is just terrific because when it's done really well, sometimes you can't distinguish whether it's the receiver or the defensive back the ball's intended for. He actually ran with him in perfect motion and able to make a big-time play.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball to their territory.
Brandon Dunn in on the stop. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. Skirts by at the 15. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
On play action, it's Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
2nd and 10. Here's a handoff to Mostert running left. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
And it looks like they've got 6 DBs on the field here for a 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the first down.
A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. They hand it off to Mostert. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. A handoff running left is Mostert. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. From the gun, a run with Mostert. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield.
I think I like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. Now they'll throw with Garoppolo. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. On the handoff, this is Mostert. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. A much different second drive here, Charles. They go 3 and out the first time. This time they've been able to sustain something downfield.
And that's what often happens. You get the game started. You know, you have to get your footing underneath you. You have to get used to the flow of the game, the speed of the game. And sometimes that first drive is more of a probing drive. It appears they found something here in the second one.
Now Mostert. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. It's Shaq Lawson who worked his way in there to get him down.
That takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? They'll drop to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Watson now to throw. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Watson a give. This is Johnson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle. This defense tough to run against. And those linebackers, they'll go side to side up the field, and there they get them for no gain.
If you can't get linemen upfield to the 2nd level to occupy them, they have a field day just running to the football and putting ball carriers on the ground. Not many yards after contact when they wrap up like that.
Out of the gun, Watson working the middle, and he's got it complete to Akins, the tight end. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now Watson. Screen play, Johnson. And he's brought down, but not before picking up the first with a very effective stiff arm.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another 1st down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now it's Watson. Again, it's Johnson. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. At that time, they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. Finding room to the 20. Touchdown, Houston. 35 yards for David Johnson. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Well, they've done a pretty good job keeping him in check to that point, but he finally breaks off a nice run here and gets into the end zone. And it just takes one, doesn't it, partner? That can undo a lot of good work that a defense has done to that point. You break off one right there, and everything suddenly looks bad for you. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it's David Johnson who provides the capper as he scores on the touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Here's James. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Out on the field now. Here come the 49ers. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
7 yards, the pickup there.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
On second down, Mostert dances by him and brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 47 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
On first down, they go with Mostert again. Stays on his feet. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. This is Mostert. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
But they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Garoppolo looking middle, and it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. To throw is Garoppolo. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. And this is going to be intercepted. Ronnie Johnson picks it, and the Texans are going to take over at their own 11-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball is intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
For the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a handoff. Johnson. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
On first down, it's Watson. He gets it left side to Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Texans football to start quarter 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Throw right side into the hands of Akins. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 40.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10, right at the 40. To the air yet again, Watson throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tag.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
4th down. Off goes Watson. On comes Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn for the field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it on line, but it comes up about a rotation short. All things considered, a pretty good kick. Just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck. And unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
Raheem Mostert and the Niner offense getting the football back. He's doing his thing. He's got some good yardage, but his team right now in the second quarter, 0 points.
Just not a complete formula. Half of it's there, being able to run the ball and set the tone. What if they may have to go to some play action, throw off the run game, and try and get the ball in the end zone?
I was just going to ask you that same thing. Maybe you use that run now to set up the pass, right?
I would think so, because the run has been very effective for them.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mostert. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had the incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. That's complete to Mostert out of the backfield. And he is going to have a 49ers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He said, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Garoppolo now. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the Texans are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. 2nd straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
And now let's look at David Johnson. And it may just be the 2nd quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Second and 8. A handoff to Johnson on the option. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. A shotgun snap for Watson. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. Off of play action, it's Watson. Steps away. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll go out of bounds finally at the 7. A huge play there for Houston.
And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
And as a former defender, I can tell you with certainty, those are the ones that have you losing sleep at night. I would not like to be in that film room on Tuesday going over that one. Just a pretty poor effort defensively, and it leads to a big play.
To throw is Watson. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal.
Here's Johnson going to get the handoff.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
And back at the 8 now. 3rd and goal. Here's Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Chris Conley there to make the grab. And the Texans push further out in front.
This has to be great for the psyche of this offense. Presented with bad field position, they didn't let it stop them. They rolled downfield and scored a touchdown.
Now, we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs, and I think they're going to at least take a look at this. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25.
Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks and no touchdown passes yet either. Not much there, only a yard.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
Yeah, they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
Now he dumps this off over the middle. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down. I think you would agree, just a good decision right there. Goes for the safe play, gets some yardage out of it.
And showed some toughness as well. As you noted, he stayed right in there. Saw the rush was coming, hung in there, took the hit, dumped it out to the outside, and now they pick up some yardage, and you have a back that's grateful to you and will continue to make plays.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
A lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
Now a play fake. Garoppolo. This one complete to Mohamed Sanu. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A big play that time on the catch and run.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's Mostert, toss left side. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Sometimes in the run game, you can make the argument that quickness beats size. And how about the example right here?
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Garoppolo.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert.
So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. And Gould is able to put it through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So the 3rd drives the charm. They are on the board, albeit with just a field goal.
Yeah, 3 points from 3 drives. That's not going to win you a whole lot of football games. Hopefully the fact they were able to move the ball a little bit can wake up their offense.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Here's the All-Pro returner from 2018, Andre Roberts. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Now here's David Johnson in the Houston offense yet again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. On 1st and 10, Watson. His throw incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Watson now to throw. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Picked by Emmanuel Mosley. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
Gold on for the extra point. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14 to 10. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Andre Roberts now to return it. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Let's go. The Texans offense set to regain possession. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20. He'll start with a handoff to Johnson, and he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them? And do I have enough confidence to make a play?
On 2nd down and 4, Watson. And he'll find Akins there, complete.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to throw, Watson. That's complete to the tight end, Akins. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down.
I know the halftime time's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. From the 50, it's Watson. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And that'll bring up 2nd down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 39.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Johnson. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, here's Watson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Well, the first 2 drives yielded touchdowns, so there's no reason for them to feel like they have to pull back on the reins. They pushed it downfield, looking for another one right there. Didn't get it, but we know they're going to continue to be bold.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Raheem Mostert and the Niner offense getting the football back. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Niners on third down. 5 out of 9 thus far. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation.
Garoppolo going to give to Mostert.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38.
74 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Garoppolo looks to throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown. Deebo Samuel, 62 yards. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And he's tough to contain as it is, but in man coverage with a pretty deep pass downfield, really tough to contain.
And it's so difficult because every play you've got to consider he might try and run past you. So your goal as a defensive back is to give him plenty of cushion, meaning lots of space between you and him. If he wants to catch the short stuff, come up and secure the tackle, hit him a bunch during the game, and try and keep him in front. But if you turn your head for a second, if your concentration wanes, he just takes off and goes. And I think that's what we just saw there.
Gold able to tack on the extra point. And we are tied here in the 2nd quarter. (17-17) the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. Roberts now on the return.
And he returns this to the 22.
Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. 2nd quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first-half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen.
Watson's throw complete there to Conley.
A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Pass complete from Watson to Akins. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Watson, he fakes to Johnson and now looks to throw.
Forced out to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. from the 39. Watson. He's got the hook up with Conley. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Now a first down throw, Watson. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over it, and they got there to break that one up.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Watson. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Cobb, and he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Now Watson.
They'll check this down to Johnson.
And he is out of bounds. Looks like right at the 15.
They certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball, possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
On first down, Watson. Out to the left, he's got his tight end, Akins. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Again, it's Watson. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Randall Cobb there to make the grab. And the Texans have taken the lead.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And they will take a 7-point lead now. A 10-play drive that time. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Now James returning.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Niners ready to go on offense for the final time of this first half. And with 25 seconds to go, we'll see how they want to play this.
And just 25 seconds to go in the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Sanu with a grab over the middle. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. From the 30 on second down, Garoppolo. He'll swing this out to Mostert. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Draw play, Garoppolo gives to Mostert. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Second and 12. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. The kick by Gold is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando. That's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Houston. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Niners, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. David Johnson now gears up to help lead this offense back on the field. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground, because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. Here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Watson. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown.
Well, Gardner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever, because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
Gold with the extra point, and that gives them a 3-point lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
Taken at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense.
And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now.
Not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson.
Out to the flat here for Johnson.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll make it 3rd down. Watson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 21. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Charles, we've seen him target one of their main weapons time and time again. Maybe they went to that well too many times there.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to determine how many times is too many because how many times have we seen a team go and play and say, until they stop us, we'll keep going. But they got stopped on that one, and it cost them 6 points.
Now Gold for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
On the return, Andre Roberts from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
And now out comes Houston. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Watson.
And he'll get this underneath to David Johnson.
And he's up in it after a gain of 4, up to the 25-yard line.
that might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Screen play, Johnson. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Boy, that was certainly well read defensively. And the key to any screen play is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle him for just a short gain.
Now a 2nd down and 6.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Watson from the gun on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Emmanuel Mosley that time able to knock it away.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
Deebo Samuel and the 49ers back in possession here.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Throwing now is Garoppolo. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. To return is Roberts. A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. He has to sort of pick himself up off the mat now, Charles. They were winning at halftime, now losing it. He's not playing well.
Sometimes you get into a position where you get a little bit too greedy. You feel great about how you're playing. Good first half. Hey, I can do even more in the second half.
and then you make throws that you're not supposed to. As you said, he's got to start to turn things around.
See if he can erase those 2 third-quarter interceptions from his mind. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. The busy night continues for Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Watson now to throw. That's complete to Cobb. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
On first down, it's Watson. Lets it fly deep for Cobb. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Randall Cobb. His second touchdown of the night. And the Texans draw a bit closer.
Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
And you get a look at the final readout on air distance, according to Next Gen Stats.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Here's James. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. And San Francisco gets set to go here. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And this one brought in by Sanu. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
5 yards remain on 2nd down.
To throw is Garoppolo.
That swung out to Mostert.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
They'll try and run here with Mostert.
And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line.
Let's go. Let's do it. think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there. And what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that first down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Mostert. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
2nd down at 5. Garoppolo now. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Whitney Merciless, showing no mercy, flies in for the sack.
I like how they've started the third quarter here. They forced a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. There's Garoppolo to throw. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line.
Let's go. Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
A pair of 1st downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. They hand it off to Mostert, and he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
From just shy of midfield, Garoppolo. And that is incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 39-yard line. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. The same target, same result. It's Kittle. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And he'll go down at the 28.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Now Mostert. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And his throw is incomplete. George Kittle, the receiver that he was looking for. But now it's 3rd down. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary here. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. And that will be incomplete.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in the stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And Gould is able to put it through. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So give them 3 on that drive. You know, normally you'd say, we'll take it. But the way points have been flying around, it feels like a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, you just have to wonder, are field goals going to be enough? Because as you pointed out, the way touchdowns have been scored, does kicking a field goal actually put you at a disadvantage the rest of the way?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here's Roberts to bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. Getting set to go again on the offensive side. Randall Cobb works his way back onto the field. He's having a day here in quarter number 3. Over 100 yards, couple touchdowns. Every receiver's hope for when they head into that game in the National Football League.
And his team is loving what he's giving them. Of course, the yardage is terrific, but I think it's what you mentioned, the 2 touchdowns. That's the big one because he's paying off his results downfield.
And still more time here. 3rd quarter. We'll see what else he has in store for us. He gets it to Cooks. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. Watson a give. This is Johnson. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Watson on 3rd down. Being chased out left. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learning a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he's trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now it's Watson. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Johnson. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
8 yards to go on second down. Out of the gun, Watson. And his throw here is incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on third down. Back to throw, Watson. He's got his target, Chris Conley. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far in this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Watson. And he'll find Akins there, complete. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 of the 12. They'll contain him to just 4, second down. To throw is Watson. Steps away to his left. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a home. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the fourth quarter. Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. And he comes back with one complete. Touchdown, Texans. Brevin Jordan from 8 yards out. And the Texans can take the lead with an extra point. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
A very important extra point there, up and good, and they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. San Francisco's offense returns to the field, and they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 18. He'll look to Mostert to start things out. First down and a little extra for Mostert. And finally brought down at the 34-yard line. 101 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A give for Sermon running right. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
On 2nd down, Mostert. And he slips.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Garoppolo on 1st down. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On the handoff, this is Mostert. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Sermon now on 1st and 10. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Garoppolo. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
A potential field goal, if you're thinking about that, almost 55 yards from here as they try to get closer on 3rd down. To throw, it's Garoppolo. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
So a big kick coming for Robbie Gould. This for a 4th quarter lead. The kick by Gould is good. And with that, they will move ahead by 2 here in the 4th. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Roberts on the return. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Houston set to take over. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Flushed out right. And Watson has enough for the first down yardage as he slides to the turf.
Now how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Watson. And Cooks has it over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. 109 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold him to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
From just shy of midfield, Watson. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Deep Ford able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage, and that time they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? From the gun, Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll hit the deck, but he did not get there. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Set to take over again here on offense, Jimmy G and the 49ers. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up and they tend to play well.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Looking to throw. Garoppolo.
Getting this out to the flat. Mostert.
This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Garoppolo. Got his target, Samuel. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that pickup on the first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Garoppolo looks to throw.
That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43.
Garoppolo going to give to Mostert.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line.
Let's go. Think about this strong safety position, and they're the more bulkier guys in the free safety, but that time great athleticism to hustle in and break up that play.
And sometimes all of your best laid plans of play design, your X's and O's, they can't always account for individual effort defensively. And this was one of those times. Just a terrific play to hustle over there and get the running back to the ground.
On 1st down, they go with Mostert again.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down.
Draw play, Garoppolo gives to Mostert.
A beautiful fake, and he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
You got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. To throw is Garoppolo. And that is caught, but he will come down out of bounds, says the side judge, incomplete.
After what they've faced during this game where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And Gold is able to put it through, and that will push the lead up to 5. So it's another field goal here. He may need to ice his leg after this one. That's now 5 field goals converted in this game alone.
Yeah, get the trainer. They're going to need this guy. And they've needed every single one of the field goals he's made, too. If they're going to get out of here with a win, I say he gets a game ball.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Roberts now on the return. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Houston's offense taking over again. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
They go to Johnson again. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Akins. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
Watson on first down. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And incomplete on the deep ball.
He's made plenty of plays throughout this game, pressing the ball downfield to the tune of 4 touchdown passes. Was shooting for a 5th there. That one came up incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Watson. Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Watson now to throw. And that is incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Houston. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Working with his 2nd and 4.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? And new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Mostert. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
From the gun, a run with Mostert.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
They hand it off to Mostert.
First down and a little extra from Mostert. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And they will take a knee here.
On 2nd down, it's Sermon.
And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Down to a knee goes Garoppolo, and that ought to do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.